focus? Okay, there we go. Alright, so I'm going to tell a story about the wonderful world of Tinder. So I am a single lady and I have fallen into the trap of dating apps. There's Tinder, there's Bumble, there's Hinge, there's Grindr. You know, I stay away from Grindr, but you know, for those people out there. I've met some interesting people on these apps. So the story I'm going to tell today is a Tinder story. I'm one of those people that, like, because I've been single for so long, every guy out there is really just competing with me. Like, there aren't any other guys that are competing with him for me. It's just like, would I rather be by myself or be with this guy? So this guy's like, let's get dinner tonight. And I was like,
really? Do you want to get dinner tonight?
And he's like, yeah, like, let's get dinner. I can pick you up. Like, it'll be fun. So I was like,
I don't really know if I want to go out to dinner with you. Like,
what if you're really boring? What if you have nothing to bring to the table? What if you make me pay for my dinner? All this stuff. And I mean, I'm not one to be like,
the guy always has to pay for dinner.
I'm the girl that's like, you know, if I want to pay for my dinner, I'll pay for my dinner. If you want to pay for your dinner, you pay for your dinner, whatever. Do your thing. So I was sitting there and I was like, I'm really gonna regret not going to dinner with this guy if I'm just gonna be sitting in bed watching TV, watching Netflix, you know, just eating candy, getting fat, you know, stuff like that. So I decided to go on a date with this guy and he's like, okay, I'll pick you up at 10. I was like, hold up, 10 p.m.? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it was 10 p.m. So I decided that I was just gonna go in my leggings and a hoodie and I had my hair in a ponytail and I was like, I look good enough. So this guy picks me up in his car. It was a Nissan Altima, I believe. Yeah. And let's call him Nathan. So Nathan picks me up in his car, his Nissan Altima, and, you know, he hands me this rose. I'll grab the rose, give me a second. He brings me a single rose to the date. And like, the stem, I cut the stem so it's like shorter now, but it was like really long. And I was like, thank you so much for this rose. So, picks me up for the date, whatever. And he's like, hey, and like gives me one of those awkward hugs where you're like reaching over the middle console thing. And, you know, we're like, hey, how's it going? And he's like, great, like, whatever. So he's very European. He has an accent. He's very, like, he's in his, like, down coat with the fur lining the hood, all this shit. And I'm like, okay, this is great. So we drive, he takes me to Buffalo Wild Wings. Believe me, I love me some wings, but for a first date, like, really? Buffalo Wild Wings? That was your choice? Anyway, so we show up and, you know, we get seated right away and we each order a beer. He ordered a Corona with a lime and I got myself a little beer. And we're sitting there, whatever, and we're like looking at the menu, trying to decide what we want. And I mean, I immediately knew what I want because I go there all the time and I always know what I want. You know, a go girl know what she wants. So we're looking at the menu and then he tells me, he's like, yeah, I don't like wings. And I was like, what? You don't like wings? And we're at Buffalo Wild Wings. Why did you pick this place? Of all places. We could have gone anywhere. Like, I'm not a picky eater, you know, like, whatever. We can go anywhere. He was like, you know, I always come to Buffalo Wild Wings to get their burgers. I was like, we could have gotten a burger at McDonald's. We could have gotten a burger anywhere else in Chicago. Yet you picked Buffalo Wild Wings for a burger. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna get, you know, some wings, whatever. And I was like, so we order and we have like awkward first date conversation, like, you know, like, what do you do? How's school? Like, what are you majoring in? All the like small talk, get to know you kind of stuff. And it was just super awkward. Super awkward. And like, there is not a huge language barrier, but because he is from Europe, he just doesn't kind of, like the jokes I would tell, he doesn't get them the way that like my friend that I grew up with would get the joke I was telling. Like, and I eat my wings, make a huge mess and everything, and he like kept looking at me while I was eating, and I was like, sir, please do not look at me and judge me while I'm eating these wings. Like, I don't need that, you don't need that, the waiter doesn't need that, nobody needs that. I was like, this is such a weird date, I should have just stayed home. And then he's like,
do you want to go for a walk?
Mind you, it is winter. It is like the heart of winter. So it's like 25 degrees outside. And he asked me if I want to go for a walk. I was like,
Nathan, do you understand it is 25 degrees outside?
which means it feels like 10. And he's
Like, oh yeah, I guess it is a little cold. I guess it is a little.
well, I was like, it is very cold. Very cold outside, Nathan. And he's like, yeah, like maybe we can drive for a little bit. I was like, okay, we can drive. Like, drive on, man, drive on. So he gets in the car, we get in the car, whatever. And he drives me home and like wants to hold my hand the entire way home. And I mean, I love holding hands, but like when you're in the car and somebody's driving, I'm not the biggest hand holder in those situations, especially like, I mean, I can't drive with one hand, you know, like for turns, you gotta use the whole like hand over hand method. So we're holding hands and like we have to keep it up the whole time. Like we can't, cause he has like a stick down here, but like it was just a weird setup in his car. So we just have our hands like up and we're holding hands the whole way to my apartment. And like, it's great. So we almost got to my place and then he's like,
So like, what do you want to do with this?
and I was like,
With what, sir? Like, what are you referring to?
and he was like,
You know, this, like you and me, like, whatever.
and he had mentioned earlier in the date that, you know, he was not looking for a hookup. He was not just looking to hit it and quit it. He was looking for like a serious relationship. Mind you, this is Tinder we're talking about. This is not like Match.com or Christian Mingle. This is like your swipe left, swipe right, dating app type of thing. So I was like,
Okay, like, I mean, I was just looking for free food, like, I'm sorry. You know, I was like, I'm sorry, you know, I don't really want anything serious right now. I just, you know, just looking, kind of playing it day by day. It's okay.
I was like, yeah, like I'd love to be that person to have fun with you. Like we can do that kind of stuff. We can just play it day by day.
I was like, great.
Great. I was also looking for somebody that, like, gets my sense of humor, you know, might, like, get me a little more. But, this is great.
And he was like,
Yeah, like, you know, I just had so much fun. Like, you're so pretty.
I was like,
Thank you. I have my hair in a ponytail and this, like, day-old makeup. Like, thank you.
so we get to my apartment after a while, and you know, I'm one of those like thanks, like see you later, get out of the car immediately and run to my apartment building kind of girls. That makes me sound so horrible. I sound like such a horrible person when I say that. Anyway, so we get to my apartment and I'm like, oh, thank you, you know, gathering all my stuff, like the rose he brought me and like my purse, whatever. And come here. And I was like, I'm here, like I'm still in the car, I didn't go anywhere. And he's like, come here. And so I like scoot closer to him and he like starts like trying to make out with me. And I was like,
This is a first date. We just had wings. Well, I just had wings because Mr. don't like wings. You just had a burger. Like, really?
this shouldn't be happening. So it just got really weird and awkward at that point. And yeah, now he texts me every day and asks if I want to hang out or go out to eat, or he's like,
Yeah, like maybe we can get together tonight.
I'm like,
or not. And Mom's like, yeah, maybe we can get together tonight.
and he's always like, yeah.
Hey, yeah, what would you want to do?
And I'm like, God, it's your idea to hang out. Like,
You tell me what you want to do, sir. I'm down with anything. If you're paying for it, take me to the club. Take me to Wings again. You know, just...
you decide. All right, so that was my first Tinder date. I'll share the second story with you guys in another video. Just thought I would get the ball rolling on my channel with that video. So yeah, I will link my Instagram and Twitter down below. I don't post on social media very often, but I'll try and do it for you guys. Also subscribe to my channel. And I will put out another video in a week or so. Okay? Okay. Bye-bye.